see you guys. Oh, you look great. You look great. Okay, guys, let's have a look at the exhibition. It took a lot of people's effort to put it together. Bodwell's 30th anniversary, we have created a permanent exhibition in the school ground floor hallway titled A History in Pictures, 30 Years of a School Vision. Behind the exhibition is a key message that every staff, student, and alumni is and will always be a valuable part of the Bodwell community. In the early years, I traveled around the world, especially in East Asia, to recruit students. Kathy looked after the students at school.
The Yandy Aang started from the very beginning in our accounting office, and Doug Graham and Jerry Kandarin came on as teachers from the second year. They are still with us today.
My wife, Edna, was hired by Paul and Kathy to manage the first student residence. They found out my background and asked if I would be interested to be the first principal of Bodwell. I was pleased to accept.
When I joined, Lawrence Fass was the principal, and Susie Gherkin and Will Garland were working magic in the classroom. Though the building on West 12th Avenue was rather small, it was in a nice neighborhood, and we were all particularly close to each other.
I found this picture and I found it.
Back then, dragon boating was the most important team sport, and students and staff practiced for months before the annual festival held at False Creek each June. The whole school was always there to cheer for the team.
I was one of the many students from Hong Kong. There were also many from Taiwan and South Korea. Years later, I'm now Bodwell's Director of IT, and I hope there will be more alumni joining Bodwell as future staff.
Susie Gherkin became our third principal, and I assisted her in organizing school functions with our students.
I supported students to run a tuck shop selling snacks on campus.
While teaching socials in ESL, I arranged school events for Canada Day and Remembrance Day.
Will Garland became the fourth principal when I joined the school. At the same time, Carol Carson built an impressive band program.
With the four logos originally standing for the four Bodwell programs: the high school, university summer program, language school, and internet school.
Was it a shock to learn that our building was sold to another school and that we had to leave? But it ended up a blessing in disguise. I still remember the joyous moment in the North Vancouver City Council chamber when we heard that our application to build a new school was approved.
Our finances were very tight then. Paul and Kathy had to borrow to buy the land and construct our new campus.
Other than a bank and personal friends, some staff and parents kindly contributed funds too.
I couldn't believe that it took only a year to complete construction, allowing classes to begin on time for the 2003 fall term.
Our student uniform was introduced when we started at the new campus. Chris and I had the honor of representing the teachers to cut the ribbon.
A year later, I stepped down from being principal and returned to teaching when Stephen Smith became our fifth principal.
Sam jumped into the assistant principal role soon after I took office. We worked with staff to start building our new school identity through our motto, Strengthen Diversity, the school mission statement, and a new house system with houses named after Gandhi, Mandela, King, and Trudeau.
I joined Bodwell in 2005 and I became the first Japanese counselor a year after. The Japanese student numbers doubled in 2007 to expand student diversity. It's been a rewarding experience.
An exciting moment, the first student parliament being elected. Jim Burnett joined us and built an outstanding athletic program. Both programs continue today after Jim's retirement in 2020.
Around that time, I joined Bodwell and witnessed the first service learning trip embarking for Kenya, led by the then Director of Residence, Kevin Kubish. The next 4 years, these annual trips happened under the leadership of teachers and myself, before we switched to bring students to Peru for several years after that.
I began coaching the boys' basketball team together with Jim. Henry Nguyen was a great player. He later returned home and played professionally, representing Vietnam in international games.
Our short news reported on the multicultural players of our boys' basketball team. Our girls' basketball team did equally well in inter-school basketball tournaments.
I retired soon after Stephen Gooby returned from his graduate studies and became our first vice principal of Bodwell.
And this is when we shaved our heads. We donated the money to Cops for Cancer.
The students had raised funds in support of the Spirit Trail overpass.
A few months after this picture, I joined Bodwell as a youth advisor. Selena Lee, Daniel Boitard, and many others had built a great foundation for Bodwell's university summer program. 3 years later, I would jump in to run the program.
Stephen began to lead the boarding program soon after the West Wing addition was complete. Around the school, we began to have a lot of cultural celebrations throughout the year.
I first joined Bodwell in 2008 as a part-time boarding tutor and worked closely with Stephen to develop an exciting boarding program. It has been wonderful to see Bodwell's co-curricular program expand over the years.
It was amazing. We had figure skating world champion Patrick Chan and novelist Joy Kagawa speak at grad ceremonies for the classes of 2013 and 2014.
By this time, we had so many boarding students that we had to set an off-site dorm at Dollarton. The boarding program started organizing a lot of outdoor activities during those years.
From 2015, we adopted a dual principal structure with Kathy as principal academics and Stephen as principal student life.
We have Greg and Will.
The construction of the East Wing addition began. Although it caused some inconvenience, everybody was excited seeing how it happened.
Then we redesigned the house system and named the 6 houses for the values courage, harmony, spirit, discovery, unity, and legacy.
It was another memorable moment of our history, the opening ceremony of our East Tower on the first school day of fall 2017.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
The new East Gym was perfect for hosting the Canadian University event and the large auditorium for drama performance. In 2019, 2020, and 2021, we had the presence of UBC, SFU, and U Waterloo speaking to our grads.
Graduation is such a meaningful rite of passage.
A big change after many years, we began our 2-semester calendar from fall 2019. Kathy shifted in spring 2020 to focus on school development, including the introduction of IB Middle Years program from fall 2021. I started as Bodwell's 9th principal right as the pandemic hit. We spent a lot of time and effort supporting the community to persevere.
Now, as we marked our 30th year, we celebrate this special anniversary at a difficult time, but one that we can overcome. Bodwell will come out of this even stronger. May the adventure of our next 30 years be just as remarkable.